Hey everyone, Dukaness here with some preliminary thoughts on Destiny 2 based on my experience with the beta. Before I get into anything, I want to strongly emphasize that I fully understand the beta is not a perfect representation of the final product, okay? I know that. You can't take what you saw or felt during the beta and assume the final product is going to be exactly like that. We haven't seen everything, and what we have seen is subject to change. Now, with that being said, the purpose of the beta is to provide feedback on a draft product. So while you can't make any conclusions on the game, you can definitely comment on the beta because it does provide a picture of where the game is headed and gives a general idea of what to expect. We also get a snapshot of what the guns, abilities, supers, game modes, etc. feel like. This video is going to consist of me talking about what I saw in both the Crucible and PvE, what I liked, what I don't like, what I'm concerned about regarding the full release, and the longevity of the game. I'm just doing my part to get a discussion going, and hope you guys join me in a civilized manner in the comments below. Let's get started. I want to start with the biggest swing from D1 to D2 that I noticed, which is that solo play has been completely taken out of the game. Playing as a lone wolf just isn't possible anymore. If you got the jump on two players in D1, you could take them out, but the time to kill is too slow in D2 for you to feasibly be able to pull that off. Even the least skilled players will turn and team shoot you before you can wipe both of them out. This is compounded by the mag sizes not being big enough to reasonably take out two enemies. In D1, your Luna could take out 3 enemies with 100% accuracy, but still take out 2 enemies even if you hit just over half your shots. With the Sunshot hand cannon, as an example, you would need to hit all 8 precision shots just to get 2 kills with 1 clip. I also noticed that the scout rifles and auto rifles have about the same mag size as D1, but still require more shots to kill. So even if you could take out 2 enemies at once, there usually isn't enough ammo to pull it off unless you're perfect. The last thing I have to say about weapons is that aim assist has definitely been toned down. In D1, you could basically miss with a gun, but the bullet would still connect, and that's one of the reasons it felt so good. I immediately felt it was more difficult to land shots in the beta. At times, it makes the game feel less crispy, but I actually like this change. D1 spoiled me. I was hitting shots I didn't deserve to hit. D2 is now challenging me to be more accurate, to be a better player. And in a game where primary gunfights are so relevant, it makes sense to give players an opportunity to widen the skill gap. A better player, a more skilled player, or a more experienced player will now have an inherent advantage in a gunfight because the game is less forgiving. Abilities are another huge change. They gave you the power you needed to play solo. You could stick a guy and primary the other, or soften them up with an axiom bolt and then finish them off. Abilities are now much weaker and they charge very slowly. I know ability spam is a huge issue right now in D1. Grenades in melee charge insanely fast and deal significant damage. We needed that to change, especially in a game with a longer time to kill. But both the damage and cooldowns were negatively impacted in D2. Abilities now feel like trickle is a permanent modifier, and the damage appears to be about half of what it used to be in most cases. I'm already forgetting to use my grenade because it's become such a small part of the game, and when I do remember to use it, it really doesn't do that much damage. I feel like Bungie should have adjusted the damage to be more in line with the new time to kill, but have kept the cooldowns the same. Apparently there's gear that's going to reduce cooldowns of abilities, which is good because I think it's essential in the full release. The last thing I'll say about slaying is that supers, contrary to what people are saying, are still powerful. They're more powerful than people are making them out to be. I think the people complaining about how lackluster they are aren't using them properly. They're expecting to pop and get free kills like in D1. You can't do that anymore. You need to actually use your brain to get kills with a super. I think they're more balanced now because they have that slaying capability, but can also be team shot and countered. My only issue with them is how slowly they charge. I was getting one at the end of the game and sometimes not getting it at all. Hopefully that cooldown changes with the ability cooldowns. So let's wrap up the changes to PvP and talk about the pattern we're seeing. Bullets do less damage relative to player health. The amount of bullets we have in a magazine has not been adjusted for this. Also, the bullets we do have are harder to hit because of lower aim assist. Abilities have been nerfed by roughly 50% and now take even longer to charge. Supers also take longer to charge. If you think about it, every significant change to Destiny leaves us with less ability to make individual plays, less flexibility to stand out, less opportunities to be a hero, but most importantly, I don't feel legend anymore. That's Destiny's motto, become legend. That's what made Destiny, Destiny. I hate the ability spam in Destiny as much as the next guy, and I like that we're moving to a more primary-based engagement. But there are hundreds of shooters out there like COD that focus on 90% gunplay only. I liked Destiny because abilities were a big part. It added an extra element. I don't want them to dominate, but I want them to be a major factor. I want supers to be something that happen more often too. I want to be able to make a play worth clipping. I want to be able to send my friends a clip of a triple down. I want to be able to clutch a 1v3 and make a highlight reel. I want to see Triple Rec drop another disgusting montage. But these things aren't possible when the power has been stripped out of us. No one's going to throw dubstep and cool effects over top of primary weapon kills. It just feels like the things that made Destiny unique and the things that made Destiny stand out from other games are gone. It feels like our Guardians are a watered down version of what we used to be. I know it's just my opinion, and I know the final product could be different, and I'm hoping it is, but I'm concerned Destiny 2 won't have the magic, appeal, and popularity that Destiny 1 had. With all that being said, I still enjoyed the beta. I love Destiny 1 so much that even if I like the sequel less, I'm still going to have a blast playing it, and I already am. I'm more worried that total popularity takes a hit as a result of the changes I listed. But time will tell, and it's just an opinion at the moment, so let me know what you guys think. Just before I go, I want to quickly discuss PvE. I was not expecting to care much for the PvE in this game. I love raiding and making raid guides, but I usually just play PvE for a month or so and then spend most of my time in the Crucible. However, after playing the story mission in Strike, I could actually feel my thoughts on that change. I feel like I'll be more into the PvE side of D2 than I was in D1 for a couple of reasons. I'll start with the story mission. A qualm I had with the vanilla campaign was that it was dull. It felt like we were shooting things because reasons and going places because we're told to. If the first mission is anything like what we can expect from the rest of the campaign, they've made very good adjustments. We were interacting with Zavala, teaming up with him, using his bubble for cover, meeting up with Ikora, getting picked up by Amanda Holiday. You never saw any of that in D1, which made you feel like it wasn't really a story. I felt much more engaged in the first mission, and I felt like I was serving a purpose for a bigger cause instead of a soldier just taking orders. If the other story missions follow this lead, I could see myself really getting into it. As for the Strike, I thought it was very cool. I'm a big fan of how long it was. I felt like I was on a real mission. You cover a ton of ground, take out different groups of enemies, complete certain objectives, and eventually make your way to the boss. It almost felt like a mini raid, maybe the halfway point between a story mission and a raid. There was even a mini jumping puzzle as you dodge the gears. I thought it was creative and unique, which is exactly what I'm looking for in PvE. I want it to be noticeably different than what other games offer, and I think they're nailing that if the Inverted Spire is anything like what we can expect from the Strikes we haven't seen. I know some people were complaining that the boss was a bullet sponge. I didn't feel that way personally. You have to remember the recommended light was 210, but we were 200, so we were under-leveled. Also, we had less power ammo than there will be in the full release, and there's probably going to be weapons that do more damage. So given all that, I think we're going to be okay. So yeah, that's the first impression I was left with by the beta. Overall, I'm very happy. I think I'll adjust to the changes in Crucible, and I'm really going to embrace the PvE. Let me know your own thoughts on the beta, but also on what you thought of this video. Do you guys want more videos like this, where I basically break things down, review them, and provide an opinion? Or would you prefer I stick to my roots of testing the game, compiling data, and creating guides? Let me know, and I'll see you soon with another video. Dukaness out.